Hello! In this video I'm gonna take you behind the scenes and show you how I shoot headshots for professional ballet dancers. I'll walk you through my lighting, gear and general approach to working with dancers. So please stick around, it won't be long. I'm not ready for long videos yet. I've been shooting dancers for over a decade, and if there is one thing I've learned, it's that every dancer has two sides. The person they are in everyday life, and the artist they become the moment they step on stage. And when it comes to headshots, catching that shift, well, that's everything. A headshot isn't just a nice picture, it's a first impression. For example, guest choreographers use them for casting, sometimes before even seeing dancer perform live. They're not just looking for good bone structure, they want to see presence, personality, potential. Can they picture this dancer in the role? Do they have the fire for dramatic solo or the softness for lyrical pas de deux? Sometimes a single image is the difference between standing out or fading away into the stack. And at the same time, a headshot isn't just about showing what someone looks like. A lot of the time, it's about showing who they want to be on stage. Every dancer has that alter ego, the version of themselves that wakes up the second the music starts and the curtain goes up. It's not just about looking like themselves, it's about owning the roles they dream of dancing. Whether it's the powerful, commanding soloist or the elegant, ethereal swan, the ambition needs to come through in the shot. So the goal is to find that balance between the real person and the performer they become on stage. It's about capturing that space where who they are off stage and who they become on stage collide, usually within 10-minute window. And sometimes it's about power and intensity, other times it's about grace, playfulness and mystery. The key is to recognize that energy and bring it out through the lens. Each shot is like a glimpse into a dancer's world. It's an invitation to see them not just as they are, but as they want to be seen on their own terms. A dancer's headshot is the first chapter of something bigger, the next role, the next performance, the next stage. And that is my philosophy and approach. But to hell with approach and stuff, let's talk about lighting. For this I'm using Profoto D1 strobe. Let's turn this on. And for my main light, it's a 12x55, $3. Usually I put a dancer somewhere close to this edge. Now why horizontally, you might ask? Well, first of all, this kind of placement gives me a nice transition of light, nice gradient from highlights to shadows. And the second reason is because the light is focused mostly on the face. I want the shoulders, chest and the rest of the body falling off into shadows. So this way I'm creating this natural vignette effect, which is both classical yet dramatic. For the background light, I keep it very simple. I find a nice, clean, neutral wall and I hit it with another D1, about 1 meter away from it. There is one thing though. I just have to make sure that my main light is far enough from that wall so the light doesn't spill over. That way I get clean, dark vignette around the subject's head, which I think looks kind of cool. And lastly, something I get asked about a lot on Instagram. By the way, links below, please follow. It's the ring flash. Not a lot of people using it. It's kind of old school, but I like whipping it out every once in a while. It's connected to a battery pack. It's Chrome Ranger RX. This was my very first light that I bought about 17 years ago. It was one of those impulsive purchases. It's big, it's bulky, it's heavy, it's old, but somehow it's still here and it still works. Back to the ring light. I use it very gently, and by gently I mean at very low power. I don't like using white cards or reflectors as my fill light. I like using light as my fill light. And this thing, being bare bulb, it creates these nice specular highlights on the skin, which makes the skin pop. Just a little texture and shine. Okay. So one thing to keep in mind though, I'm shooting with a fixed lens, so my distance to the subject matter. I move too close, too far, and the output of the light shifts. That's why I make sure I stay at the same distance. So this way the output of the flash is locked in. If I have to adjust the power of this based on the skin tone, I just like lean down, make the adjustment, and keep shooting. And for the camera, I use Fuji GFX 100S with 80mm prime lens. And this video was also shot on GFX 100S, except I used 55mm 1.7 lens. Well, that's about it. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm glad you were here.